I have spent so long trying to get the correct explanations and writing them down and reading it and then recording and hearing my recording and not being satisfied with it. So we're just going in. We're doing it today because it's Thanksgiving and I got something to give you. So what we're going to be doing is I have a list of things that I think newer players can look out for to help them feel more comfortable in game and understand more of the dynamic of what they're doing outside of the basic, oh, someone's trying to hook me and then kill me. Cool, let's get into it. So the first thing you gotta know is your scratch marks. What are they? Who are they? Are you itchy? Your scratch marks are red marks you leave behind when you are running, and the killer will be able to see them and track you by that, and they last 10 seconds by default. So as you'll see, when a survivor is crouching or walking, you won't leave behind any scratch marks. Now what this means is that if you finally gain some distance between you and your killer, say you dropped a pallet on them or you did some nasty juke, you can stop running at some point and start walking or crouching away so they lose your trail. And if you want to be really slick, what you could do is if you're passing a stairwell or if you just went over a window or a pallet or through a door, you could say run to the right for a second and then walk back the other way, and they'll think you still went right because that's where your trail marks lead. And the last thing I'm going to mention about scratch marks, which is particularly important in the early game and when you don't know where the killer is that the scratch marks are not just left on the ground. They are also left on obstacles you pass, such as pallets, cars, bushes, houses, the whole lot, even the wall at the edge of the map. And so there have been so many times where, though I did not hear anything, there was no notification on my screen, and I did not actually see the survivor, I see their scratch marks that they left behind. And the scratch marks don't up and just disappear, they fade. So if I see light ones or really bright ones, that tells me how recently you were actually in that location. Now next up we got alerts. Now these are things that when you do them will tell the killer where you are. And it will look and sound like this. Or this. So real quick, the list of actions that would have alerted the killer of your location are things that are harsh or things that you did fast. And when I say fast, I mean you were holding down the shift key or running while you did them. So examples of this are if you fast exit a locker, if you fast vault a window, or if you fast vault a pallet. So if the killer is not near you, don't do that. You can be running up to a window and then just let go of the run real quick and then slow vault it so they aren't alerted. It will save you so much trouble. Do that. And outside of those, the things that doesn't matter if you're actually holding down the run button when you do them, that will alert the killer of your location. Is if you miss any skill check, doesn't matter what it's from, if you unhook somebody, if you throw down a pallet, and if you fully cleanse a hex totem. Those are the ones that are lit up. If they are not lit up, they are dull totems and you don't need to worry about them. So another thing to talk about are these quote-unquote full grabs. Now, I don't know what they're actually called, it's just what I call them because the killer can put you on their shoulder without having put you into the dying state, even if you're injured, even if you are at full health. You've almost definitely seen this happen where someone hides in a locker and the killer opens that locker and puts them on their shoulder. Now, they can also do this when you are slow vaulting a window or pallet, so don't do those two things unless you're out of a chase. They can also do it when you are working on a generator or hex totem. I don't believe it happens when you're opening chests. Now, this is where it gets funky because they can also do this when you're unhooking somebody. So if you've ever gone to unhook your friend and a killer is sitting there doing this little dance with you, trying to angle himself so he's next to you or behind you, but never actually swinging, it's because they're trying to get you to unhook the person so they can take you off that, not even let you get the unhook, put you on their shoulder, and then hook you afterwards. So if you ever run into that, maybe try to bait a hit, maybe try to like start unhooking and then stop immediately, let them hit you, and then unhook the person if you're that keen on getting them off, right? So the last important thing to talk about is the tier system when you are on the hook. So how it works is when you get first put on a hook, you are in tier 1, and that's when you're not struggling, and that's when you can try to bring yourself off the hook, which almost never works, by the way. And then there is tier 2, and that's when you're struggling to stay on the hook, kind of hoping someone will get you in time before you reach the end of tier 2 and die. The important thing to realize is that, of course, when someone's in tier 2, we want to get them off the hook because they're going to die if we don't do that. But if they're in tier 1 and they're, say, a quarter of the way through that bar and you haven't seen anyone get them yet, you should probably go get them. Because if they get into tier 2, the next time they're put on the hook after that, they are dead immediately. And the final tip of the hat is that if you're ever having trouble finding generators, especially on an indoor map or kind of a half outdoor, half indoor map, if you see flickering lights, that means there's a gen in that area, in that building, above or below those lights, through that door, whatever have you. Go check it out, get the gen done. Objectives, baby! And that's it for today. Sorry for the horrible explanation. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. Bye!